Hello, welcome Fish here with another BMS video. This video we're going to do a refresher on mark points. And we're heading towards our target point at steer 7, so we're just going to drop down under the clouds so we have visibility on the target area. I'm using the LGB mission, the training mission, for this. We're going to push to steer point 7, which is our target point, and we're going to line up for our target. We're going to liven our air-to-ground systems. Switch on our TGP and laser and master arm on. I'm not going to be dropping any bombs for this mission. Okay, so we're going to focus on the creating a mark on the FCR, and you can see our FCR is center of interest, and I'm going to zoom in to that cluster of objects there as much as I can, and we can see it there. So I'm going to pick an object here. Just turning onto that. So I'm going to pick an object there, the one to the furthest away from me, and I'm going to, in order to make a mark on that object, I'm going to TMS up to designate the target.
Altitude.
And now I'm going to press ICP 7 from the CNI page. And to make the mark point, now it's TMS up, and I've made mark point 6 of that designated target point. I'm going to go back to the CNI page and on designate the target, slew the cursor, and now I'm going to find the target again by hitting the steer point ICP steer point button, which is ICP 4, followed by the steer point number 26, and enter. And that takes me to the steer point, and finally I have to clear the offset, and we can see we're back to our objects. Now I've got to do the same thing using the TGP as center of interest. I'm going to slew the cursor, and I'm going to make a point track on an object. We can see it there, and the point track is akin to designating a target. So once I've designated the target, once again from the CNI page, it's mark point, it's mark ICP 7, and TMS up to make a mark point of that target. So we can see 27 is made. I'm going to return to the CNI page, on designated target, move around, go back to steer point 27, enter that, clear the offset, and we're back to the target. The third mode we're going to look at is the making a mark point from the snowplow mode on the FCR, and this is different from what we did a moment ago in the FCR, which was basically using an offset from a current steer point. So this is essentially a target of opportunity that we may see out in front of us. So I have to make the FCR the SOI, and I'm going to click into steer point mode by clicking on OSB 8, and now I'm going to make the snowplow mode my SOI by clicking on TMS up and zooming out a little bit, and I'm going to zoom to a cluster of buildings that I can see ahead of me. So I'm going to zoom in a couple of times again, get the best magnification, and I'm going to pick that object to the left hand side, the outliner. I'm going to get as close as possible on that, and we're going to make a mark from this. And the way we do this is go back to the CNI page on our DED. We TMS up to designate the target, ICP 7, and TMS up once again, and now we've made mark point 28. And I'm going to go out of steer point snowplow mode, and I'm going to slew the target to something else, back to CNI page, and now I'm going to select steer point 28, enter, and once again create the offset, and we can see we are now locked onto that target that we've just designated. The last mode I want to look at is the HUD mode. So again, CNI page and DMS up to make the HUD center of interest, and this time we hit the mark point button and we bore sight our designator, and you can see we can move it, slew it around the place. So I'm going to slew it something, and then TMS up to ground stabilize it, and we can still slew it or fine tune it if we wish, and the next TMS up is going to make our mark. So we've got the mark page up, TMS up, and that makes mark point 29. So we got too close to the target to be able to test that, so we're going to just drive out a little bit to the west and going to come back in and select that. Okay, so back to CNI page, and I'm going to type in 29 as a steer point, and we're going to turn back into the target area, and not forgetting to reset our cursor offset. As you can see, it focuses us back on an object that we were looking at on the ground. So back to our CNI page. I'm going to switch on our mark point now, and we're going to change it to the overfly mark point. And the overfly mark point works in a similar way. We're looking at mark point 30, and basically it marks wherever our aircraft is. So I'm just going to overfly something here. And once again, if I make that mark point current steer point by typing it in and make sure my offset is clear, which it is. If I extend out a little bit and come back around, we should be looking at the object that we had just marked as we were overflying it. So finally, I want to show how to make a mark point the current steer point while you make it. So we're going to do the same thing again from the FCR, and I'm going to just zoom into that object up ahead of us there, and once again TMS up to designate the target, and from the CNI page ICP 7 for the mark, and remember it cycles around. You can see we've gone from 30 now to 26, so this is going to override our last 26. So TMS up to make the designated target the mark point, and now if we want to make this our current steer point, we simply hit the M select, which is the 0 on ICP, followed by enter, and always reset the CZ, the offset. I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching, and please like, dislike, subscribe and comment. Until next time, fish out.